On this episode, we want to know, are you of the spirit of Joshua and Caleb, or are you of the spirit of the 10 spies? Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Torah Bits. We're in Torah Bits, episode 11. Here we are, we're live at Full Sail University, and we're just recording some of our messages here. And I want to talk to you a little bit about some commentary. It was kind of cool that this kind of worked out this way, that we were not at the offices, not either at the congregation or my work office. We're in just a whole career day here at Full Sail, looking for talent, looking for help, and a lot of excuses could have come our way. A lot of excuses could have been used to maybe not have the time to record this for you. But when something's important, you make time. And I want to talk about that today. And I also want to kind of just read a little bit to you. First Fruits of Zion really had some great commentary on this week. So I'm just going to use a little bit of their commentary. If you want to go look it up, it's torahportions.org. And you can see what they're talking about, because it was really, when I thought about these spies and I was thinking about, we're in Torah Portion Shelach. Numbers chapter 13 through Numbers chapter 15 verse 41, and so I just want to talk a little bit about this as we're here. A lot going on. We're just getting set up for this day, and I wanted to take the time to share with you, because one of the things that we consider when it comes to excuses and what the real sin was of the spy and the bad report, did they really bring a bad report of the land per se? They really didn't bring a bad report of the land. They brought a realistic report of the land, and I love this commentary from First Fruits of Zion, because I think it's important that we really understand the difference between a physical reality and a spiritual reality, and how we allow God to limit, how we limit God, how we don't allow God to move in certain ways in this earth. And I just actually taught this very similar, so it was funny to see this commentary today. I was talking about this on Saturday, about that we limit what God can do in our lives. And so when you look at the spies and when they went into the land, and the difference between Joshua and Caleb's report and the spies' report, they brought back a bad report. But really, at the end of the day, they brought back a realistic report. Were there giants in the land? Yes. Were there armies in the land? Yes. Were there's all these things going on in the land that on a physical level, would it have made it virtually impossible, or would it have made it extremely hard for them to accomplish what God had told? I mean, that's the first thing that they forgot, right? Is the vision. The vision. Vision is so important. I talk a lot about vision. This is something that's like a pet peeve of mine. You know that I like to take the Torah portions and the teachings that we study day in and day out and week in and week out, and say, how do I live that today? How do I live that tomorrow? And not just it be just an understanding or a knowledge, but it be something that transforms how we look at life around us day in and day out. And we live life many times just like those 10 spies in the land, where they went into the land, they saw giants, they saw challenges, they saw armies, they saw all these things, fortresses, and they saw all these things that said, this is going to be a limitation to us being able to accomplish this. And what I'm saying is that the reality is not always the reality. And what they did was they brought back a reality. The difference is they brought back a different reality than what Joshua and Caleb brought back. And I think this is just a great assessment and on their commentary. And I just want to read straight from them. It says the 10 spies were just such realists. That's what they were. They were realists. They went in and they saw the land for what it was, or the challenges for what it was, and they assessed the situation in terms of their own reality, which is a faithless reality. From that perspective, things look pretty dismal. A quick march back to Egypt was probably the best solution. Now, this is forgetting that just a few verses back in Numbers chapter 10, verse 35 and 36, we see this whole thing of the ark, and that when the ark would travel, arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered, and when the ark would settle, return, O Lord, the myriads of Israel. So there's this prophecy of what was going to happen anyway. It was a gift. It was a divine provision that was given to them, and they'd already forgotten the vision. They'd already gone in and now are not looking at the land and the challenges through the vision and through the faith of Hashem, of God, but they're looking at it through the realists, the reality of their own carnal flesh. And we fail all the time. It says Caleb and Joshua, though, were different. They were a different kind of realist. To them, reality was not as big as God. They assessed the situation in terms of their in terms of a reality that encompassed faith. And I think that is a huge message to be said. Is they filtered reality. Their reality revolved around not just the physical, but also the spiritual. Their connection with Hashem, right? It says the difference between Caleb's spirit and the spirit of the 10 spies is the difference between seeing life through the eyes of faith or faithlessness. The optimist says the cup is half full. The pessimist says the cup is half empty. The man of faith gives thanks that the cup is half full, and he marvels that God will either make the half cup sufficient to meet his need or miraculously refill the whole cup. And it's funny because there's kind of a joke that goes around that talks about, the pessimist argues that the cup is half empty. The realist, says that the cup is half full. And then like the optimist comes along and he drinks the water. He drinks the cup, right? He takes advantage of the situation, says, look, while you guys are arguing whether it's half full or half empty, I'm gonna drink it because I'm thirsty. And we do this spiritually. We do this day in out where we look at the world around us. There's tons of excuses we could have given today to say, I'm tired, it's busy, we haven't had time to plan, we're sitting here at this event. There's all these things going on, and every single one of us deal with this every day, right? This is what I love about doing this in a real world environment, is we all have positions, jobs, work, children, families, lives, challenges, medical things that are going on. And we can give all kinds of excuses to the reality. It's not making it up. It is a challenge. There is a lot of challenges around you. But you know what happens? We let excuses, we let the reality of this world define what God can really do through our lives, rather than saying, you know what, Lord, you're bigger than my time schedule issues. You're bigger than my health issues. You're bigger than my issues at work or at home or with my employer or with my neighbor or with my friend or with my wife or husband or children. You're bigger than all of that. So the reality on this level might be this. However, you're bigger than all these things. And that's the difference between saying, guys, we're gonna take the land, we're gonna go in and we're gonna conquer because we serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're gonna conquer because we serve something that's greater. He that's in me is greater than he that's in this world. So even though I see a worldly reality around me, I see a greater reality of potential, of possibility, of abundance, of conquering, of overcoming, because I see that reality through the eyes of Hashem. I see that reality through the eyes of our Creator. And this is something that plagues us day in and day out. It plagues us in work, in our life, in our health, in our careers, all of this stuff. Excuses, number one, plaguing. Well, the reality, I don't have time. You have time. People that are starting businesses or trying to work business, don't bring excuses into the play. Employers working for people, all they have is a minimum hour wage hour job. Good, take it, work your way up, excel, get the abilities they need. Find solutions to the problems that they're having. Don't look at the reality of what they have. Look at that as an opportunity. Instead of seeing a minimum wage job as an issue, if that's all you have, look at it as a door, as a gateway, as a window, as an opportunity to be taken to that next level. So I pray that you will do this. I would hope that we would take those excuses, move them to the side, remove them from our mouths, remove them from our lives. Like, excuses just plague us, our health, everything. It's one of the worst things, and it stops us from living a life of faith and abundance and conquering, living a life through His reality, and we live it through the limitations of the glasses that we look through day in and day out. Hope you have an awesome week. It's awesome to always be with you guys week in and week out. Tune in, subscribe, share, comment in the sections below. Send us an email, torahbits@gmail.com. We'd love to have your questions and your participation in future shows. God bless you. Have an awesome week.